When we're arguing with someone, we often tell them, especially with family, that you don't see the full picture. Yes? You've said that before? You've been told that before. So in the same way, we are studying Acharya Shankara's Moha Mudgara, where he's taking this hammer to hammer away those aspects of our thinking that are not complete. He's asking us to engage in pratipaksha bhavana, to see the full picture in all of our experiences. And by doing so, Acharya Shankara is teaching us to live where we are. You've all heard of the term, or you've been asked, where is the grass the greenest? Is it on the other side? Canada. Where is the grass the greenest? Where you water the grass. When we see the full picture, we're encouraged to live where we are. And to be more specific, when Prince Arjuna told Bhagavan Krishna so many reasons why we shouldn't follow through with this fight, what did Lord Krishna do? Nothing. You keep talking, Arjuna, but you are not allowed to leave this fight. For us also, wherever you are, whoever you are, practice in that circumstance. Last week, we studied a powerful shloka that made us think, why are people interested in us? Do you ever think about that? Why are people interested in us? And I don't mean in a dating way, I mean in a fundamental way. Are they interested in what you have, or are they interested in what you are? Acharya Shankara is asking us to think about that. And he's pointing out that the nature of us tends to be selfish. And so when we think and speak and act, we do it with what can I get rather than what can I give. So he's sharing, this is how people are, so be independent. And not only be independent, make others independent too. And the best way to do that? Be independent, isn't it? All of the families that are in this course, don't you want those who are younger than you to be independent? Of course you do. But if you're not independent, how are you going to make them independent? This is the message of Acharya Shankara. And I want to highlight some very beautiful Sanskrit related to this. The word tantra. Tan means to expand. And tra means an instrument. An instrument to expand is tantra. And if you can think about this in a clothing way, tantra would be the threads in my kurta. Okay, the threads in my kurta are called tantra. And I've used a very important word throughout our Moha Mudgara course. Not tantra, but swatantra. Swatantra means to be independent. Swatantra means, if we go with the clothing example, it's not the thread, but the cotton. That we should go deeper into who we are. And I assure you, this is the only security that exists. A country with such a great GDP and such a great military, and there's lots of countries like that, but are they secure? We think that pleasure, possession, position is security, but it's not. Our nature, no one can take away. And if I can make this very extreme, In Acharya Shankara's commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2, he says, Ishwaropi, implying that even Ishwara cannot destroy the Atman. That's a very heavy and inspiring message, that you are indestructible. You are invincible. Our incompleteness is so obvious. We're always about getting. And by being aware of that, Acharya Shankara is hopefully encouraging us to wake up and shift to get, give. Get, give. Change those proportions. And now many of us who are involved in the field of service, even when we serve expecting people to like us, right? You can call it recognition, you can call it liking. And then when I'm serving and people don't like me, but I'm serving you, how come they don't like me? Is that why you're serving? For people to like you? Use social media. It's way easier to get likes on social media than it is to serve, right? When we serve, when we live, we should do so without the expectation of any form of reciprocity. Whether it's help from others, whether it's like from others, just be independent and make others independent. Okay? This was a review from last week. We proceed to a similar shloka. I'm on shloka 6. I'll chant. You please repeat. Yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat prichati kushalam gehe gatavati vayo deha paye bharya bhibyati tasmin kaye. Together, bhaja govindam. But since we have so many people here, I'd like to hear just the last part, but louder. They should all be able to hear you. Ready? Bhaja. Good. Preface to this shloka, what Swami Tejomayananda had taught us, he said, the world is going to reject us. Is going to reject us. And if we know that's going to happen, we should be proactive and reject the world before the world rejects us. Now, there's a lot of corporations in this city. If you know that they're going to fire you, what should you do? Quit before they fire you. Take the severance package because you know that this is going to happen, isn't it? The world is going to fire us. What to do? Adapt in such a way that the world can't burn you. And so Acharya Shankara says here, the first word is yavat. Where there's yavat, what will also be there? Tavat. It's a very powerful technique on clarity. He says yavat pavanaha. Pavanaha means here air, breath. Nivasati. Vasa means to live. Nivasa means to live closely. Air lives quite close. It lives so deeply inside of us. Dehe, inside of the deha. As long as there's breath that's living closely in us. That's the first quarter. And to pick up on this word deha, what does deha mean? Body. Deha comes from the root dih. Dih means to envelop. If you think about that word, if something is enveloping, there has to be that which is enveloped. So if the body is considered that which is enveloping, can't be you then, right? There has to be something more to you. And on the same notes, at the end of the shloka, what's another word for body? Sharira. And I've explained to you, Sharira means shiryamanatvat, that which is forever perishing. What's another word for body? Kaya. And Kaya, and this is a very, you have to picture this. Kaya means a heap. The word Kaya means a heap. This is just a heap of stuff. A heap of skin and a heap of bones and blood. It literally means heap. Hey, heap. That's what these words mean. Sanskrit is such a philosophical language. In the next line, Acharya Shankara says, if there's yavat, there has to be tavat. If, and he says then, prichati. Prichati means ask. Kushala. They're concerned for you. Gehe, the people at home. If there's breath living inside of you, then the people at home ask about you. Yes? Now, thinking about this more deeply, people are only cordial with us because they don't have to take care of us, right? If someone has to take care of you, would they be as pleasant with you? I don't think so. If I was a super needy Acharya, some of you think I am a super needy Acharya. If I was a super needy, in my mind I'll say if, then you wouldn't ask so many questions. You wouldn't want to be around because it would always be, okay, do this for me. How come you're not doing this, etc., etc. Making this more common. When you ask someone, how are you? You expect a one-answer reply, right? How are you? Good. What if they said no and they went on to explain why? Would you have asked, how are you? Just because we don't want to hear, it's just something we do. Try tomorrow when someone says, I'm glad you asked. And then go on into some sort of rant. That person's smile will totally change. Next time they won't ask you. They'll avoid seeing you. For that reason, and the most important part here is Acharya Shankara is saying this is happening in the gehe, in one's home also. He says, Gatavati, when it's gone. What's gone? Vayo. In other words, when this breath is gone, from this deha paye, when the breath leaves from this body. And this doesn't necessarily mean death. It can mean lung capacity. If someone has asthma, then their body is more fragile than someone without asthma, as an example. For those who travel to high altitudes, you have to move slower. Your body's not as strong. Acharya Shankara is saying here is this breath is on its way out. He never mentioned old age here, isn't it? There's no indication of age in this shloka. And I had shared yesterday, when the Yaksha asks Yudhishthira, what is the greatest ascharya? What is the greatest wonder in the way that people live? And Yudhishthira right on says that all around us we see death, but we feel this will apply to others and not us. I had asked you to go to the cemetery, right? Did you see only old people in the cemetery? There's lots of young people in the cemetery too. It is an ascharya that you and I think that we're going to live forever. You know what kind of people think they're going to live forever? Rakshasas. Demons do. And devatas, the indulgent. Wicked people, wicked as in actually literally wicked, and indulgent people think they're going to live forever. Sometimes when people meet me for the first time and they ask me, how did you come towards this path? And I like to play with them. I say, the girl that I loved, she said no. And they love hearing it. They're so used to Bollywood. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But that didn't happen, okay? We got married. We're still married. Everything is fine. And then as they walk away, they'll say, Bechara. Pitiable, isn't it? Why is it that we think that you should practice religion when you're older only? And how old should you be? 60. Until 60, live like a bhogi. God created the world for us to enjoy. God created animals for us to domesticate and eat, isn't it? And so, on your 60th birthday the day after, right? You've had your big celebration, many cakes are there. You wake up early. Acharya Shankara said, wake up early. You sit down, and all you concentrate on is how much your knees hurt. All you concentrate is on indigestion, and what is this person doing? I should be doing that. There's no yoga when you're 60. There's only roga. You live a life of bhoga. What did you expect was going to happen? Roga, disease, not yoga. This breath is going. Even now, this breath is going. If you've read Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda shares, we are all born with a set number of breaths in our bank. And once those breaths are exhausted, this body dies. That's why we should be healthy. And now all the pranayama people are thinking big thoughts. Pranayama doesn't, if you don't have knowledge, you'll live forever. That's a curse. Many people sing, Tum jio hazaro sal, right? Don't say that. Who wants to live for 1,000 years? That's a curse. And so in the last line, Acharya Shankara says, Bharya. What does Bharya mean? Wife. So not husbands, just wives. Bharya bhibyati. Bhibyati means she shakes. She's scared. Tasmin kai. She's scared of that same body. The same body that put that jaymal on. The same body that put that wedding ring on. Once that breath is gone, one is scared of that body. And not just wife. Please don't take this literally. Family. Friends. People who think that we think are interested in us. Those same people are scared once we become needy. True? How we treat people who are not well. Saturday I'm speaking about combating mental illness, and someone with a mental illness has a special need. And once there was a young couple who had a child with special needs, and they were very dejected. And Gurudev was at their home, and they were expressing this to Gurudev. And Gurudev had said, it takes special parents to have a special child. That's a very beautiful way to look after one's family. We're all going to get old. And as we age, in each stage of life, we can offer something unique to others, correct? When you're young, you can offer innocence. When you're a little bit older, you can offer hard work. When you're older, you can offer insight, correct? So we should keep all groups of people with us, where we can learn from them. Acharya Shankara in this shloka is teaching us who our real relatives are, what our real relationship is. And there's other Vedantic texts that share, when you and I die, our only friend is dharma. Dharmo rakshati, rakshitaha. The one who lives responsibly dies peacefully. Another text I'd read said, our only friend at death is punya. All of the right thoughts and words and actions, because that will carry with us, correct? When Alexander was carried through the streets, Didn't he ask his ministers that I should be carried with my hands out? We put that descriptive word, the great, but he realized that what is greatness? He left with nothing but a whole lot of papa. That papa definitely went with him. You can't escape from that. And this is where Swami Tejramananda says, that's why they're called relatives and not absolutes. Our families are called relative, treat them relatively. But when we get attached, we're making them absolutes. I got married to an absolute, right? Even in language it sounds funny, but we act like it. The only purpose for which you and I are breathing is freedom. You can call that moksha, you can call that independent joy, but there is no other purpose. Each shloka is hammering this. Every other purpose is just a hobby, but freedom, remember in the Advanced Vedanta course I'd shared, if you want to be free, this has to be full-time. If you want freedom, this has to be full-time. All else that we do, schooling, family, work, hobbies, the only purpose is freedom. And so this body is to be used. We're not supposed to be used by the body. I just mentioned, if you drive a car, sort of okay, but if the car drives you, definitely not okay. Who's driving who right now? Are you using the body or is the body using you? Narayan.